Here's a drive, deep left field, and gone to Souvenir City for Shelly Duncan. He hit it into the souvenir stand. Cabrera with his throw to the plate, and they got him! Home, baby! Duncan drives another one, deep left field. Abreu looking up, it's gone! Duncan with his second home run of the night. From Progressive Field in downtown Cleveland, Ohio, it's Indians baseball. Tonight, the Tribe takes on the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim in Game 2 of this three-game series. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning. Tribe off a thrilling win last night over the Angels. A little dicey there in the ninth inning, but Chris Perez nailed it down for his 20th save, and he was able to do that because of a huge night they got from Shelly Duncan.
What a night it was. In his first at-bat, he's going to hit one off the end and bloop it in, but it's going to tie the game at 1 in the very first inning. Bloops it in front of Torrey Hunter, so it's tied at 1. So he's going to lead off in his next at-bat and hit one deep, and I mean that's into Souvenir City, as he said last night. And then in his third at-bat, it's a 2-run homer, so he's driven in all 4 runs for the Indians. Not only that, had an assist out in the outfield, and it was a beautiful play that kept the game, the lead for the Indians. And you can see he's tied for the team lead with 8 home runs at home with Hafner and Laporta.
All right, and the Indians, got a well-pitched game last night from Josh Tomlin. And the starters have really done a nice job here, especially in the last couple of months. Tonight we'll get Genmar Gomez on the hill, and it seems like every time we turn around, Genmar Gomez is matched up against the other team's ace.
And the kid has living up to the booking, man. He goes out there and he continues to pitch very, very well. He's matched up against Jarrett Weaver tonight. Weaver hasn't won in his last 6 starts, so Gomez is going to continue to go out there, give his team a chance to win the ball game. Weaver beat the Indians back on April 26th. He went 6 innings, had 7 punch-outs, and Genmar Gomez the loss in his last start against the Mariners.
In addition to facing Jarrett Weaver and then Felix Hernandez in his last start, he's also squared off against Justin Verlander, Zach Greinke twice, and Francisco Liriano. So this kid, as you mentioned, Rick, he is not wilted under the pressure. We'll be back with all the play-by-play action coming up next. Cleveland Tribe and the Angels, Game 2 in this 3-game meeting. This will wrap up the season series between these two ball clubs. With their win last night, the Indians have taken the upper hand, winning 4 of 7 thus far. Genmar Gomez on the hill. Here's Mike Scioscia starting 9 for the Halos. Alberto Callaspo will lead it off. Then it's Bobby Abreu, followed by Torrey Hunter. Hideki Matsui will DH and bat cleanup. Juan Rivera bats 5th. Eric Ibar hitting 6th. Then Howie Kendrick, Hank Conger, and Peter Borges rounded out.
Genmar Gomez brought to you by the Indians Team Shops, where you'll get 2 free tickets if you spend $50. And Genmar Gomez making his 9th start. And this guy, I mean, has been matched up against some of the best pitchers in the league, and he's been able to hold his own at 3-3, an ERA of just over 3. He has given up 50 hits in his 44 innings, struck out 23, and walked 12. So Genmar Gomez here, he has pitched very well in this ballpark. He's 2-0 with a 1.50 ERA in his 4 starts. Let's check out the defense behind Gomez this evening. It looks like this. It's Duncan in left, Brantley in center, Chu is in right. It'll be Nix at third, Cabrera at short. Sutton gets his first start after getting called up yesterday at second. Laporta's at first with Lou Marson behind the plate.
Crew chief Tim Cheetah will call the balls and strikes this evening. Bob Davidson is at first, Alfonso Marquez at second, and Scott Berry down at third. Alberto Callaspo will step in and lead it off tonight for the Angels. He ended last night's ball game with a fly ball to left field. Even though the Angels had the tying run at third and the go-ahead run at second with 2 down in the 9th inning. Gomez misses up high, ball 1. 64 degrees, our game time temperature here tonight. And a ground ball weakly hit to second base. That's Drew Sutton who throws him out, making his Indians debut here tonight. Let's have a quick look at our PNC Bank achievement of the game for the achiever in us all. Mike Scioscia, 970 career wins, so he's really closing in on the 1,000 win mark. Two times a manager of the year.
Well, he's very good at what he does. This has been a tough year for him. They're normally winning that Western Division crown, but not this year.
Well, and as you have seen over the years, it's quite a different job for managers now than even, say, when you first broke in the mid-'70s. Managers now don't just worry about baseball and the team, but they have to be the face of the organization, the mouthpiece of the organization. There's a lot of PR that comes with the job, and that sometimes can be taxing. It can be trying because when you're not playing well, you still have to put on that strong, brave front. Sometimes you maybe can't say the things that you want to say when you're frustrated.
Well, he's done one thing. There is a constant in there. He's had the same coaches since he's taken over. And, they go out there. The economics, they always have had a pretty good payroll out there in L.A., over $100 million. But, they ran into the fact that they didn't have John Lackey. They didn't sign Guerrero back. So some of their choices.
Abreu shoots it just beyond the reach of Genmar Gomez and into center field for a 1-out single. And you're right. And there's not a manager in the game who wouldn't envy the payroll that Mike Scioscia gets to work with. But at the same time, that's only half the battle. You may have the talent, but you still have to win with that talent.
Yes, you do.
And he's consistently been able to do that year in and year out.
I look at him because of the teams that he has had here in L.A. for the Angels. He's an aggressive manager. He plays more of a National League style.
There he goes. Abreu taken off, and the ball goes into center field. Abreu didn't see it right away, so he'll hold at second base with his 20th stolen base on the year. And
that's what he was looking for.
Into some rare company. 12th consecutive season, he has stolen 20 bases. That's the longest active streak in the big league.
Well, he wasted no time. And Gomez, and that's where you steal it off of the pitcher. He didn't pay attention to where the ball was. He was just concerned about getting that 20th bag. It's over with. He got it. 12 straight years.
Hunter with a big chopper to third. Nix looks the runner back. 2 down. But, Rick, when you talk about the Angels and specifically under Mike Scioscia's reign, they play a very identifiable style of baseball. And the fact that he's been able to put his thumbprint on his teams year in and year out is impressive.
Well, and like I said, aggressive. They go first to third, second to home. They run the bases very well. But they do that in their minor leagues, too. Every hitter in their minor league system has to perform a couple of hit and runs during the course of the year. Squeeze play. I don't care if you're a fourth hitter in a ball club down there. They make you, at some point in time,
ready for a squeeze play. So when you get called to the big leagues and you're asked to do something, it's not a surprise.
And that shows you they've had great continuity then throughout their system. Hideki Matsui looks at a ball down low. Angels DH was 2 for 4 with a double in last night's game.
Well, I like what we saw when we were in L.A. and we were there early one day, and they had their extra men. What were they doing? And Socha was out there. You remember standing on the field?
They
were running the bases. They were
running
the bases. How many teams do you see run the bases before a game? And this is, during extra batting practice.
Gomez steps away with Abreu at second base. 2 down here in the first. And the 3-0. A called strike. Well, he fell behind him 3-0. Gets a strike. Now we'll see if he really wants to challenge him or if he just wants him to maybe chase his pitch and then go after the right-handed hitter on deck.
Yeah, make your pitch here.
Ball 4. And with first base open, that's not the worst thing in the world. With
No,
the right-handed hitting Juan Rivera coming up next. Rivera pinch hit last night in the 9th inning, got a base hit.
Well, another guy playing first base for him. They have had 11 guys play first base this year.
Well, that's amazing.
With the injury to Kendry Morales. And you can't find the production that they lost. And this guy was, I'm sure you've seen the replays 100 times. Kendry Morales hit a game-winning home run earlier in the year. It was in May. He ends up hitting home plate and blew out a knee in the celebration.
Broken bat, base hit left field. That's going to bring home Bobby Abreu. And the Angels, for the second night in a row, score a run in the first inning to grab the early lead.
Well, and this is their theme. They score a lot early. They have outscored their opponents 74-57 in that first inning. And they did it last night, and they come back and do it tonight and score in the first and take an early 1-0 lead on I don't know if it broke his bat, but it certainly got down on the trademark. He was able to fist it into the outfield for a single, and they get on the board.
Eric Ibar steps in and looks at a ball down low. Ibar, switch hitting shortstop, was 0 for 4 last night. And he's missed on 2 straight to fall behind, and Marston's going to go out for a quick chat. Talking about all the players that they have tried at first base to try and replace Kendry Morales also points out that even an organization like the Angels, with the payroll they have and with the continuity they've had throughout their farm system, there's no perfect team in baseball. There's no perfect organization. Everybody has holes and deficiencies somewhere. And that's a pretty sizable Achilles heel, though, for the Angels this year.
When you go into a year, any manager, the first thing you're going to hear, we want to stay healthy. Because it's tough replacing some of your stars. I don't care if you have a big payroll or you have a small payroll. When you lose your best players, the guys that have to play day in and day out, you are going to find out what your 40-man is all about.
Well, all of a sudden, Gomez has kind of lost it here.
Yeah, this is a rarity. Normally, he's out pounding the strike zone. 5 of the first 6 batters, he has fallen behind 1-0. And that's not his style. Normally, he pounds the strike zone. So Tim Belcher going to go and try and get him back on track.
In retrospect, looking back on it, it probably wasn't so much that he was working around Matsui as though he just couldn't find the strike zone.
Little arm slot. You see it happen time to time. Pitchers in that first inning, sometimes they just go out there and they have a tough time finding it.
Meeting of the mound over as Tim Belcher heads back to the Tribe dugout.
But you want him to find it awfully quickly because he's matched up against a guy tonight that's one of the better ones in the league, Jared Weaver. And this guy, they haven't been scoring when he's been on the mound, so you don't want him to get ahead early.
Howie Kendrick steps in and looks at a ball up high. Kendrick was 1 for 3 in the game last night. This will be the 21st pitch of the inning for Gomez and only the 8th strike that he has thrown. Up high, 2-1. Kendrick, a career .314 hitter against the Indians. But this year, just 6 for 26. They've done a much better job facing him.
Well, this is a guy that loves to shoot the ball to right center field. 7 of the Angels' 9 hits last night were for extra bases.
Out of play, 2-2. Well, there's a good example of what you were talking about, a guy who really uses the entire field.
Stays on the baseball. Boy, guys that, when their hits by direction are spread out like that, you're going to see them. They'll probably walk more. They'll strike out less when you use the whole field.
Ooh, just missed outside, full count.
Well, when you're all over the place, it's a tough call to get when you make a perfect pitch. Let's take a look, and you'll see Marson sitting on the outside edge. See, his ball comes back a little bit, and that's a good pitch, but maybe because he's been all over the place, didn't get that call.
Now the payoff, runners go, and it's ball 4. He's walked in a run. Looked like he slipped awkwardly when he planted. 2-0 Angels as Kendrick picks up his 68th RBI. And the bases remain loaded with 2 down. And he's missed ball 1 down low. Boy, 17 out of 26 pitches have missed the strike zone here in the first inning.
We haven't seen him make a start like this all year. This is the first.
And that's ball 2 to Hank Conger. He was a first-round pick of the Angels back in '06 out of Huntington Beach, right down the road from Anaheim. Finds the strike zone, 2-1. Yeah, this is something we have not seen from Genmar Gomez.
Not at all. When you look at his starts, the most he has ever walked in a game has been 3. That was against Detroit, and he has 3 in the first inning.
Comes back with another one, 2-2. Well, and it's not unusual for a starting pitcher to struggle to try to find himself in that first inning.
Well, he can't throw anything for strikes, so he's a tough time with his fastball. His slider hasn't been any better, and Marson's trying to work with him just to get through this inning and let him take a breather without giving up any more.
30th pitch of the inning is lined into left field, another base hit. Rivera scores. Ibar's coming home. He scores 2. And it's a big first inning for the Angels, who now lead it 4-0.
Well, when you're relying on one pitch as a hitter, you can sit up there saying he's not going to throw the breaking ball. You turn into a one-pitch pitcher, and there's no doubt in the hitter's mind what's coming. And let's see, it's going to be elevated because he's able to fight it off the other way. It was a breaking ball. They tried to slow it down, but just didn't work.
And Hank Conger, with his first major league hit, drives in 2 runs to make it a 4-0 Angels lead here in the first inning.
Well, I'll tell you what, that's the way to do it. He's the catcher for Jared Weaver. Weaver's going to pat him on the back before he even goes out there.
Down low. Peter Borges, the 9th man to bat here in the first inning. Peter Borges, who has tremendous wheels. Back to the mound, Gomez with the flip to first, and the inning finally over. But the Angels take advantage of Gomez's inability to throw strikes here in the first. They put up a 4-spot. Tribe coming to bat. Proud to be the official auto insurance provider of the Cleveland Indians. Michael Brantley is Drupal Cabrera and Shin-Soo Choo at the top. Hafner, Duncan, Nix in the middle. Matt Laporta, Drew Sutton, and Lou Marson rounded out.
Happiest guy in this ballpark right now is Jared Weaver. He is making his 31st start, 11-11, and a 3.06 ERA. That's sixth best in the league. But this guy, I'll tell you what, he's winless in his last 6 starts and held just 5 combined runs in his last 5 starts. The offense has given him 5 runs. He already has 4 in the first inning, so this is uncharted water for this guy.
And Michael Brantley looks at a first pitch strike.
And this year he has allowed 3 earned runs or less in 23 of his 30 starts. So the Indians have their work cut out for him offensively.
Pitchers all say the same thing, too, when they get a big lead early. They say, I always go out and don't worry about the score. I try to pitch like it's a scoreless tie.
Like it's a nothing ball game. Well,
but you have to wonder if that's really true.
Well, I don't know. But this guy is second in the league in punch-out. So, I mean, he is got a good fastball. He's got a good changeup, and he's a tough slider to the right-handers. He can neutralize the lefties with that changeup. Lefties are hitting .215 off him.
The 1-2 pitch. And Brantley drives it to left field, but Bobby Abreu is there, and that's out number 1.
Well, let's look at the defense for the Angels, brought to you by Huntington Bank. In the outfield, Abreu, Borges, and Hunter. On the infield, Callaspo, Ibar, Kendrick, and Rivera. Conger behind the plate, already with his first Major League hit and his first Major League ribbies.
Jared Weaver into the windup. And the pitch to his Drupal Cabrera is a breaking ball that misses up high. Jared Weaver, 6'7", 210 pounds. Out of Long Beach State. The Angels' first-round pick back in 2004. Backhander by Kendrick. Takes care of Cabrera. 2 down. This month, when Cleveland hits a home run, STO and Coca-Cola are giving away free Coke for a year. Our first contestant tonight, Johnny Metzger from Marshallville, Ohio. Visit STOHD.com now if you haven't already signed up. A strike to Shin-Soo Choo. Well, Jared Weaver is probably headed, Rick, for a rather large payday. Weaver and the Angels avoided arbitration at the start of this year, agreeing to a contract that pays him just north of $4 million. And that is a real bargain when you talk about a guy who's making his 31st start, has over 200 strikeouts.
Well, it's actually their number one pitcher and one of the best pitchers in the league. 6th in ERA, 2nd in punch-outs. And he goes out there and, unfortunately, the bullpen has given up 3 or 4 of his wins this year, and as well offensively they haven't scored. So you wonder why he's 11-11. It's just one of those years.
Now the 2-2. Missed in off the plate. And the count goes full. Chu was 0 for 2 last night, but he did walk twice. Travis Hafner would be next. Got him. 1-2-3 go the Indians. 4-zip Angels after 1.
By Continental Airlines. Work hard, fly right. And by your Northern Ohio Toyota dealers.
Alberto Callaspo leading off the second inning after the Angels sent 9 men to the plate in the first, scoring 4 times. Callaspo grounded out to second his first time up. Squibb down the third base side. Nix from the line throws it away. Laporta got leather on it but couldn't haul it in. And the ball goes into the photo well, so Callaspo goes down to second base.
Well, that could be a double error there. Because the throw, if you make a good throw, he's out. And then the throw wild gets him to second base. So that's going to be a double error, I would think.
Or just a 2-base error.
Well, an error to let him reach first and an error to let him reach second. Just one error? Yeah, very easily could have been 2. Think about it.
I don't think you can do that on one throw, though.
Why not?
Well, I just think it's just a 2-base error. Backhanded by Laporta. The flip to first. Gomez tags the bag. Either way, it's not good.
No, it's not good. You're right.
And it gets Callaspo over to third with 1 out. That'll bring up Torrey Hunter, who grounded to third his first time up. Hunter 2 for 4 last night with a double. Hunter looks at the ball over the outside corner. Oh, boy. One oh pitch to Hunter. Wow, he smoked that into center field. And that's going to bring home Callaspo. And the Angels now lead it 5-0. 80 runs batted in on the year now for Torrey Hunter.
Well, there's a pitch there, and right now everything from Gomez is upstairs. And he will have a short night tonight if he continues to pitch the way he has been, falling behind the hitters and everything upstairs. It's one of those nights, it looks like. And, of course, when you're already down and you're struggling, that leadoff man reaching on an error certainly doesn't help, because it puts you right back into the stretch where you were all first inning.
Almost looks like because of his trouble throwing strikes in the first, he's kind of feeling for the strike zone now. And you can't make mistakes in the middle of the plate with guys like Abreu, Hunter, Matsui. There's a called strike, 0-2 the count. Missed down low with it. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Of course, the Angels let Vladimir Guerrero go after last year and signed Hideki Matsui. Guerrero's played a key role in the Rangers' surge to the top of the Western Division standings.
Well, I think
there's a drive deep to center. Brantley is running out of real estate, and it's off the wall. That's going to score Torrey Hunter easily, and Matsui is going to go all the way to third with a 1-out triple.
Matsui's first triple of the year. But he did give that ball a ride, no question about it.
6-0 Angels. Brantley kept going back on the ball, and eventually he just got pinned up against the fence and had no chance to play the carom.
Well, 1-2 count and slider, middle of the plate. Brantley trying to run it down, but this thing, and the wind's blowing in, so it may have knocked it down a little bit. That ball might have been out here on a normal night, high off the wall. And it ricochets past him. Michael sort of ran too far into that one and let the ball get by him, so a triple for Matsui. It's now 6-0.
And we're about to get activity in the Indians' bullpen as Juan Rivera.
You can't.
Fouls the first pitch off. He drove in a run and scored in the first. Justin Germano about to get loose. This already will be the 43rd pitch for Gomez, who delivers a pitch, and Rivera punches it into right field for another RBI hit. 3 more in for the Angels here in the second, who now lead it 7-0.
So Rivera 2 for 2 and a pair of ribbies. These guys now they're having some fun over there in that other dugout. Another pitch up in the zone. You just go the other way with it. Look at Rivera, easy for him. Slaps it the other way. 6 hits already, 7 runs. We're in the top half of the second inning.
They are making it look easy right now.
This one's turning into a laugher early.
Eric Ibar takes a strike. Double play ball to second. They get 1 there and turn 2 to end the inning. But not before the Angels plate 3 more. Middle of the second. They lead it 7-0. Already down 7 against one of the toughest pitchers in the league, Jared Weaver. And a big breaking ball in for striking. He looks like he's already has command of all his pitches.
Well, you know what? He had a tough time early. He was just throwing that curveball. If he gets a feel for that, offensively, it's going to be a long night. And he can spot that fastball. That was a pretty good pitch there.
Yeah. Down low. You know, I was looking at this the other day, Rick, and while CC Sabathia clearly has the lead in the race for the American League Cy Young Award, there are a lot of guys who are quietly having very good seasons who at least will be in the discussion. And you know, there's a guy that almost nobody talks about who's having a fantastic year out in Oakland, and that's Trevor Cahill. With 16 wins, and he's third in ERA at 2.61.
He's pitching tonight, too.
Hafner hits a high pop. Back goes Kai Espo into shallow left. 1 away. Let's look at our great clip of the game, brought to you by Great Clips. And last night, Shelley Duncan was the Indians' offense. He homered twice. And he drove in all 4 of their runs. Also had an RBI single, so 3 for 3 on the night for Shelley Duncan. Relax, you're at Great Clips. Duncan looks at a ball outside. You know, another guy who's having a really solid year. His team will more than likely miss the playoffs, but John Lester of the Red Sox is also sitting at 17 wins. He is, 6th or 7th in ERA. He's over 200 strikeouts on the year.
Well, we said it was the year of the pitcher, and we said it a long time ago, and I'll tell you what, there's a lot of pitchers having some pretty fine years out there. You know, home runs down, runs per game down. The pitchers have dominated this year.
Even Verlander at Detroit has 16 wins, 190 punch-outs. His ERA is a little bit high, but
perfect games. The no-hitters that were thrown, they started to slow down. But how many times was there a no-hitter or a perfect game going into the 9th inning this year? That didn't happen.
Sky-high pop, shallow left. Second baseman Kendrick is there. 2 down. Time now for the AT trivia question. AT&T Rethink Possible. Who holds the Indians' record for most career 3-home run games? Up high, ball 1 to Jason Nix, who was 1 for 3 with a double last night. Three home run games, that's hard to do. Yeah.
Well, you just have to be around a good offense. You have guys on and you happen to hit, a lot of home runs with a couple guys on, like Hafner had that year with the grand slams.
Yeah. There's a high fly ball, fairly deep to left center, but back goes Borges, the center fielder, on the front edge of the warning track. And the Indians go 1-2-3. Through 2, it's the Angels 7 and the Indians nothing. Color, taste, greatness moment. Howie Kendrick drove in a run with a bases-loaded walk in the first. Two balls and a strike. That one hit Gomez. Ricochets over towards third. Nix can't come up with the bare hand.
It's one of those nights for Genmar. Doesn't matter, what he does. It just seems that the bounces are not going his way.
Tell you what, to his credit, and I know this doesn't mean a whole lot when you're losing 7-0, but he gave a thumbs up sign. He doesn't seem to be down on himself or hanging his head out there like, oh, woe is me. And that sometimes can happen to a pitcher. Start feeling sorry for yourself, and then you really get tattooed.
Right. You're right, but it seems like this guy, he's only pitched a couple of times out of the full windup.
Yeah.
Because they've had the leadoff man aboard every time except the first inning. He got the first man out, but after the second hitter, he's been in the stretch all game. And out of the stretch, they are 5 for 9 off him, and he's walked 3 guys out of there. Sometimes that doesn't help you either.
Hank Conger takes a strike, and it's quickly 0-2. Hank Conger's real name is Hyun Choi Conger. He's Korean, but his grandfather nicknamed him Hank in honor of Henry Aaron. And this is a kid who has been on the radar for a long time. He was a Gatorade Player of the Year in California back in 2006, but when he was in the Little League World Series back in 2000, his team finished 1 win shy of the Little League World Series.
Okay, I'll bet he wore number 44 as a kid.
I bet you're right.
He has 64 now, so maybe, when he makes his club and makes his turn, maybe he'll wear it.
Got his first big league hit, first big league ribbies in his first at-bat, but he punches
out here. His first big league strikeout in his next. Welcome to the show, my friend. And that's the first strikeout for Gomez.
Peter Borges grounded out his first time up, sends a soft fly to right, ran it into the lights, did Chu, but he's able to hang on for the out, 2 down. Well, don't miss the Berea Report tonight at 11. Right here on Sports Time Ohio. Jim Donovan, Doug Deacon, Andre Knott will have all the information, the latest on Jake Delhomme, and that's something that all Browns fans watching very closely. Delhomme, if he's unable to go, then there's a good chance Seneca Wallace will be under center when the Browns take on the Chiefs this Sunday. That's tonight at 11 right here on STO. They'll have all the latest information for you. Alberto Callaspo 0 for 2, reached on an error and scored in the second. And it's up high. 2 balls, no strikes. Justin Germano once again up in the Tribe bullpen. Pop back out of play. 2-1 to count. 57 pitches now on the evening for Gomez, as he tries to work through his issues here tonight. Gave up 4 in the first, 3 more in the second. A chance to put up a goose egg here in the third. The 2-1. In the air to left. Duncan over near the line. And Gomez finally keeps the Angels off the board here in the third. 7-zip. Angels on top. Up here, Matt Laporta, Drew Sutton, and Lou Marson. Jared Weaver with the first pitch strike to Laporta, who was 0 for 2 last night, though he did draw 2 walks. And it's down low. 2 balls and a strike. Two and two evens it up. What for a right-handed hitter? What's the most difficult aspect of facing Weaver? Is it the arm angle and the delivery, or just the fact that he's got so many different weapons to come at you?
Well,
with?
he's 6'7", all of the above.
Total package.
Total package, man. Exactly right. He can throw it up there at 93. He gives you a different arm angle. He's 6'7". He can change speeds, and he can throw strikes with it every pitch. I mean, awfully tough. Watch this. I mean, this is just right there. Maybe a little fastball right there, a cutter.
Yeah, that was more than 86.
Yeah, it sure was.
And he's rearing back and throwing it. Here's Drew Sutton making his Indians debut tonight. Tribe picked him up from the Cincinnati Reds. There's a fly ball to center field. Back goes Borges. And he'll make the catch. The Indians got him off waivers from the Reds back on August the 6th. Here's our Subway fresh face of the game. The Columbus Clippers are in action. And how about this? Jared Head is already homered again. They have an early 3-0 lead. Jared Head had, 1 or 2 home runs last night, so he's blasting
hot,
away
baby.
in the postseason.
Stay hot.
Yeah. Lou Marson, batting ninth, was 1 for 3 with a double last night. Oh boy, that's not good, is it?
That's not rain.
Or snow.
Let's hope they stay away. They have been around, though.
Well, hopefully they stay up there near the light.
Yeah.
Light
They like the lights. We've seen them here, though. They bothered the players. What was it, last homestand they were in?
Two balls and a strike. Caught the outside edge. Marson doesn't like it. 2-2. Right back, able to catch up to the high fastball, but unable to square it up. Stays 2-2. 7 runs on 7 hits for the Angels. Meanwhile, Weaver trying to set the Indians down in order. First time through the lineup. With a slider here. And again, it's fouled out of play. Yankees out in front of Tampa 1-0. They're in the 3rd inning down in St. Pete. That has been 2 terrific games to start that series. 2-2. Rays won a 1-0 11-inning game in the series opener.
Yeah,
the Yankees came back, won 8-7 in 10 innings last night.
You know, and it's like they're trying to play for the division because both those teams are going to make the playoffs. You know, when it's all said and done.
It's essentially a playoff preview, really. You know,
right? It's just that they won't battle each other. They'll both going to have to win their series.
Yeah, they'll. If they meet, it would be in the LCS.
That's exactly
correct.
right. You know, they're battling to see who will take on, and it looks like Minnesota's a couple games, you know.
Right now they have the best record, don't they? No, I guess they're not quite there.
The Yankees have the best. But, you know, whoever doesn't win, you know, whoever wins the East, the next team will be the wild card.
Yeah. Twins still have an outside chance to get the best
record.
Yes,
they do. You'd never count them out. Oh.
Wow. Close pitch there. 3-2. Well, consider this. New York and Tampa still have another series to go.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. They can beat each other. Minnesota
That's
can
what I was
just keep
thinking.
right on. They've been playing solid.
Struck him out. Jared Weaver with 3 Ks, 9 up, 9 down through 3 innings of play. It's the Angels 7 and the Indians nothing. Pitching change of the game. Justin Germano coming on to work the 4th. Genmar Gomez, 3 innings, 7 runs, 6 earned allowed here tonight. Just did not have it. One of those nights, as they say.
Hey, you're entitled to that. He's matched up against a lot of very good pitchers, but tonight was not his night, so Justin Germano comes in.
He'll be facing Bobby Abreu, Torrey Hunter, and Hideki Matsui. Abreu singled and scored in the first, grounded out in the second. Abreu fouls it away. Well, Colorado got a big win this afternoon. They beat San Diego 9-6, so they cut the gap back to 2.5 games. More importantly, they stop a
pretty
two-game
good
skid.
That's been a pretty good series. San Diego won 2 out of 3, and I think they end the season in San Diego.
Strike called inside edge, 2-2. Well, that NL West is just all bunched together. Giants host the Dodgers later tonight. They are just a game back now after that loss by the Padres. Got him looking. Abreu strikes out, and 1 down here in the 4th. Let's go back to the studios right now for an in-game update, and Al Pawlowski has the latest from St. Petersburg, Florida, between the Rays and the Yankees.
All right, Matt, Rick, the only run so far today came right here in the first inning. Robinson Cano with the bases loaded, singles to left, and that's been it. 1-0 New York. They're now in the bottom half of the 3rd inning at the Trop. Back to you, Matt.
All right, thanks, Al. I heard Rangers manager Ron Washington on the radio earlier today talking about Josh Hamilton. Now, the Rangers have a comfortable lead in the West. They're up 9 games on Oakland heading into today's action. But I don't think anybody in Texas is fooling themselves into thinking they can go deep into the playoffs without Josh Hamilton in the middle of their lineup and patrolling center field. But Washington said he took some controlled swings in the cage yesterday, and after a number of swings, he started to feel the pain. And so they shut him down. They're hoping he would be able to come back today and maybe take some more swings. But you start to wonder. There's a drive deep to center. Brantley racing back, runs it down, 2 away.
Well, the Cleveland Indians Charities would like to thank our fans and supporters for a great year this year. Over $1.5 million was raised for the Cleveland Baseball Federation, Boys and Girls Clubs of Cleveland, and the Cleveland Metropolitan School District. Your support allows CIC to fulfill its mission of providing opportunities to the youth of Northeast Ohio. So once again, we thank you very, very much.
Hideki Matsui doubled in a run and scored his last time up. I'm sorry, tripled in a run.
Yeah, that ball went high off the wall. His first triple of the year.
I might need to start getting the bifocals like you.
Yeah, look down at your card. You know it was an extra base hit, don't you?
I can't see the stuff close to me.
Start doing it in colors. You need crayons. Tommy Bowe, we're going to get him to bring you a brand new set for the next game.
The 0-2. Well, he couldn't be here tonight. He had to sharpen a whole new box.
Yeah, he's
football coming up this weekend.
Got to get ready for high school football tomorrow.
Justin Germano has Matsui down on the count of ball and 2 strikes with 2 down here in the 4th.
He's probably sitting at home putting us on suspension.
Now the 1-2. Got him. Well, Germano with a strong inning strikes out a pair. Angels go in order. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Still 7-0. Against Jared Weaver. But he brought his A-plus game so far here tonight. He's retired all 9 that he's faced. He has struck out 3. And a first pitch strike to Michael Brantley here in the 4th.
Well, like I told you on the start of this ball game, he's winless in his last 6 starts. And they have scored him just 5 runs in those starts. So they already have 7 on the board today. He's not going to waste that.
Well, my point to you earlier about pitchers and how they say, well, I don't look at the scoreboard. Even if we have a lead, I try to go out and think it's a 0-0 game. But the thing I was really thinking about when I mentioned that about Weaver, think about how deflating it's been for him, start after start, no runs. Tonight he's got to go out there really with a little extra bounce in his step, thinking, I've got some offense behind me tonight.
He's been looking forward to that. 30 runs in his last 15 starts. That's how tough it's been for him this year.
There's a drive toward left center, but there is Abreu in left field to pull it down. And that's out number 1 here in the 4th.
Well, you can meet a current Tri player and watch the Indians from the field with Batting Practice Extra. Choose from 3 different packages. Options include Progressive Field Fun Money or dinner in the Terrace Club. And Batting Practice Extra, you can call 216-420-HITS and reserve your tickets.
Those numbers that you just brought up about Jared Weaver got me to thinking about something I was listening to the other day, and that's there are guys, statisticians, sabermetricians who would argue that wins and losses you can't measure a pitcher necessarily by wins and losses because there's so many things that are out of their control. The range of the defense behind them, what the bullpen does late in the ball game. And Jared Weaver is probably exhibit A for that argument because he has pitched much better than his one-loss record might otherwise indicate.
He certainly has. And we were talking about before the game. Look at that. He's going to keep you honest. The guy hasn't got a hit yet, but when he sees somebody digging in, he's going to brush you back. We talked about winning percentage. That's a true, I think, talent or a judgment of a good pitcher is winning percentage because sometimes you go out there and you hear a lot of pitchers talk about just, I want to give my team a chance to win. Well, I want to see a pitcher goes out there and lets his team win. Gets out there. When he gets a lead, he never gives it back and turns the lead over to the bullpen. Not gets it close or keeps it close, has the lead.
Well, you hear the phrase sometimes used to describe pitchers who pitch just good enough to lose. And there are guys who have that, maybe it's just a little bit of a nasty streak, who once they get the lead, they completely dominate the other team's lineup. They don't give them a chance to get the momentum back, to get back into the ball game.
We talked to one of the greatest of all time, Bob Feller. He says, show me a pitcher that can pitch in front from the 7th inning on, and I want him on my team. That's the guy I want on my team. But, and he goes back into the day because he was like that. When he got the lead, he would close out the game. But the game has changed because of the bullpens and the closers and the way it's set up, the setup men. So as a starter, you've got to change your mentality and say, I've got to give my bullpen the lead. And if they don't save it for me, then that's too bad.
There's the first hit of the night for the Indians, and a one-hop smash by Shin-Soo Choo. A solid base hit with 2 outs here in the 4th inning.
Well, Choo picked on a 4-seam fastball. They wanted it down and in, and that ball just ekes out over the plate and missed his location. Choo took advantage of it. So the Indians get their first hit. He had retired 11 straight hitters before Choo steps up and bangs the first hit out for the Tribe.
You're talking about how the game has changed, and I was watching the special we had on Sports Time Ohio, the roundtable that Bob DiBiasio did with Sudden Sam McDowell and Mike Hargrove and Kenny Lofton and Sandy Alomar. And, Sudden Sam, it wasn't anything for him to go out and throw 150 pitches in a game and sometimes well beyond that.
Right, at times, absolutely.
But Mike Hargrove was trying to explain, how the game has changed in that, the theories and the way the game is approached from a pitching standpoint now is you're not just worried about today, but you worry about that pitcher being strong in August and in September when you need him the most, and that's why the pitch count has been so closely monitored. It's not that a Jared Weaver couldn't go out and throw 130 pitches in a start. It's that if you do that, what's the effect 3 and 4 starts down the road? And is that going to hurt our chances of winning later in the season?
3 and 4 years down the road if he happens to stay, or if they invest in a 500 pitcher nowadays. Let's say a 12 and 12 pitcher, they make $9-10 million a year. You can't blow them out. They're investments, and that's all part of the process now. You're right. They're monitored. Young pitchers, they have an innings threshold you hear us talk about, and, they won't go above 20% of what they pitched last year. That's why guys get shut down, and because they're concerned about the injuries and the arms and the fatigue. That's why But in the minor leagues, when the kids, I think a lot of times they come to the big leagues as pitchers, they're not ready to pitch, but maybe 5 innings at the most at the major league level. They're not stressful innings down in the minor leagues, and they take them out before they get, or right at 100 pitches, and they're not into the 7th inning down there in the minor leagues. So when you get to the big leagues up here, man, you've got to work harder. There's better hitters up here. They take more pitches up here, and your 100 pitches are going to be burned in 5 innings.
Jared Weaver with a 2-2 to Travis Hafner, and it's fouled back out of play.
Hitters up here, man, they may not swing at everything, but when they do, they know how to foul off 2 strike pitches and balls to keep you working and make you work out there.
They spoil the good pitches, and they don't swing.
And they crush the bad pitches.
At pitches that are just a little bit off the plate.
Right.
I mean, not every hitter, but...
You may strike them out one time by getting them looking out there, but what happens again? Let them get a book on you.
Now the 2-2. Hafner with a grounder to first. Kicks off the glove of Rivera, but backed up nicely by Kendrick to end the inning. 4 in the books. Angels 7, Indians nothing. McDonald's, I'm loving it. By KeyBank. Stop in and start a conversation and unlock your possibilities. And by Panini's. Now open in Chagrin Falls, Solon, and Brunswick. Visit PaninisGrill.com. We go to the 5th inning here at Progressive Field. Juan Rivera leading off. And he looked at a ball just a bit inside. Big curveball drops in for a strike. Rivera already 2 for 2 tonight. He's driven in a run in each of his first 2 at-bats, so he's now 3 for 3 in the series. Way out in front that time. Yeah. Boy, did he pull the string nicely.
I love that pitch. Germano gets a lot of hitters on that pitch, and it really sets up a lot of other pitches for him. I mean, that's about 67, 68 miles per hour. Yeah. It seems like it never gets there as a hitter.
That's a pitch that's become, I don't know, a lost art in baseball nowadays.
Yeah, not many pitchers throw that slow hook. It's tough to get called a strike sometimes. But when you throw it for a strike, and if he does on the first pitch and he throws it early, he just get me over strike 1. Then when you get it, if you want to use it again, you don't have to throw it for strikes if you're ahead of the hitter. You can see if he wants to chase it like he did in that last pitch there.
Once the fastball in, the 2-2. Bounced on the ground to third. Nix sets and throws, and that is out number 1. Here's our Game recap brought to you by your Northern Ohio Toyota dealers. Juan Rivera with an RBI single in the first, part of a 4-run outburst. Hank Conger with his first major league hit drove in a pair to cap that inning. Then they tacked on 3 more in the second. Juan Rivera once again right in the middle of it. For a dealer near you, visit buyatoyota.com. That's been all the action so far. Angels have been shut out on 1 hit through the first 4 frames. Eric Ibar 0 for 1 with a walk and a run scored. That's outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. And this scoreboard update brought to you by Wendy's. You know when it's real. Wendy's. They're just underway in Chicago. Boy, Rick, I think the Twins may have just taken the life out of the White Sox last night, though.
No question.
That was a huge game because it looked like the White Sox had it set up, had them right where they wanted them. They were down a run late in the game, bases loaded, 1 out. You've got Konerko and then Manny Ramirez. And old Jesse Crane punched him out back-to-back, and that was it.
Well, Minnesota Twins they're a good team. They're solid. They are, every way you look at it. Chicago had their run.
Another strikeout for Justin Germano. 2 down here in the 5th. He's fanned 3 of the 5 that he has faced.
Ties him up. Excellent location. You see, he made them hands, work those hands to get through there. Excellent location. If you take it, it's probably a strike. If you don't, that's what you can do with it right there. You're lucky to foul it off.
Howie Kendrick looks at the ball inside. He's walked and singled so far here tonight. One and one. There's that slow curve. 1 and 2.
I want to send out congrats, we all do, to Kyle Klobowski and Emily Urban of Brunswick. They're getting married Friday. Bachelor party here at the ball game tonight.
Wow.
They may already be Barachoed at 7-zip.
It's the big Klobowski party.
Yes, indeed.
1, 2, 3. 4 Ks for Justin Germano. He's got those Angels hitters talking to themselves. Man, jeez, that's a little scary looking right there, isn't it?
It's like arachnophobia.
Right now, the Indians suffering from Weaver phobia. He has been dominant.
Yeah, he has. He's had it working. He has 3 strikeouts. He's tied now for the league lead with that other guy that's out west with Seattle. And you know who I'm talking about.
King Felix
Hernandez. That's exactly right. They both have 214.
You know what I was just thinking about? I wonder if we talk about earlier, Bob Feller, and even going forward, Don Drysdale, great pitchers of their era, when guys used to go 9 innings, when there were no bullpens to go to for those guys. They put up numbers that you think, wow, 300 strikeouts in a season and that type of thing. I wonder if you look at a guy like Weaver, who's a big strikeout pitcher, Felix Hernandez, are they comparable to the innings that they pitched?
Absolutely.
Strikeouts per 9 innings, I guess, would be a good way to look at it.
Here you go. This guy has a chance to, lead the league or lead the majors in strikeouts. He would be the first Angel to do that since Nolan Ryan did it in 1977. Well, Ryan only had 341 that year. But those guys, they were 4-man rotations. They weren't 5 guys. So you were probably getting another 5-6 starts maybe during the course of the year. Now, with pitch counts and things like that, those guys, the old-timers, are going to get a lot more. Their numbers are going to be bigger because the pitch counts weren't around. If your arm stayed healthy, they didn't have rotator cuffs back then. You had a sore arm, period. You look at Weaver this year, he's making his 31st start, so, he may have 34 starts. He may have 3 more to go. Those guys used to get 39, 40 starts.
Yeah. Well, we always talk about it nowadays. If a guy makes 30 starts, that's a workhorse. You get 30 starts in a season.
Another ridiculous thing, though, when you talk to some of these guys, which I love, and we do, at fantasy camp, when they're starting, there were times they'd come out of the bullpen and pitch it in 2 days on their side day when they're supposed to throw. They would come into games at times.
All right, we just did a quick check, Rick. Nolan Ryan, 341 strikeouts, led the league in 77. He averaged 10.3 strikeouts per 9 innings. Jared Weaver averaging 9.6 strikeouts per 9 innings.
Very close.
Very close. It's just that he's not going to pitch the same amount of innings to get close to where.
Right.
But if you take it per 9 innings, he's about in the same ballpark.
Yeah, these guys are as good, without a doubt, at striking hitters out. Are you kidding me? Hernandez in Seattle, that guy's unbelievable. There's a lot of good pitchers out there now.
Verlander.
There's some great young arms. Verlander's one. CeCe's one. Although, I don't consider him the top of the notch strikeout guy, but he's a strikeout guy. How about Price?
Yeah.
He's going to be.
And that kid's just scratching the surface. I tell you what, this has been a heck of an at-bat for Shelley Duncan, and this reminds me of something that Manny Acta said after the game last night. So the one thing he loves about Duncan is that he's going to go up there and he's going to take his hacks. He's going to try to destroy the baseball. And you know what? Every once in a while, he's going to get you.
Well, I'm glad to see he was back in there tonight after the night he had, because you certainly... That's going to be a tough matchup for any right-hander.
Took 11 pitches for Weaver to get him, but he does earn his 4th strikeout of the night. Here's our 5-star league leaders, brought to you by the GMC Sierra. Never send a truck to do a Sierra's job. Looking at Jared Weaver, 215 Ks now, one ahead.
And we didn't even talk about John Lester on there.
Yeah,
Liriano. Yeah, there's some good strikeout pitchers in the game. Well, and something else you can talk about that I think comes into play. The strike zones now are smaller than what they were back then. The strike zones used to be bigger. You used to get pitches up above the waist, where they don't get it now.
Popped up, back out of play. Remember, we just saw Brandon Morrow out in.
He's done. No, he's done. He's with Toronto.
That's right.
No, he got traded. He was in Seattle now with Toronto and almost threw that perfect game against Tampa.
He leads the league, 10.9 strikeouts per 9 innings.
He's a strikeout guy. They shut him down. But, you know, what would happen today with some of these hitters if you called the strike, that the strike zone the way it states in the book?
Nick's chased some high heat right there.
There
That's
you
5
go.
now.
He's starting to get on a roll.
Well, we could go into a whole different avenue.
But look, I mean, here, that's out of the zone. He chased a bad one. But I'm saying, if you can throw a pitch up here and they called it like it was in the rule book, the letters are armpits to knees, that's different, too. You're going to see a lot more strikeouts. And there's guys that strike out now you got some guys that shatter the record in strikeouts.
Now, of course, Nolan Ryan came along after they lowered the mound, but you almost have to draw a line there, because prior to that, when the mound was higher, and we talk about when
you got
Bob
some
Gibson and Denny McLean
tilt.
Dominated in the late 60s. Swung on and missed.
Now, Weaver's, I'm telling you what, he is rolling on all cylinders.
50 of his 75 pitches have been strikes.
Yeah, he is rolling.
Now the 0-2. Fastball away.
Give him a little different arm angle there, and he tried to make the perfect pitch with the fastball, and this may set up a breaking ball here. Didn't chase it.
2-2 the count.
Cannot be a comfortable at-bat from a right-hander.
Well, not to mention they've only had him out of the stretch one at-bat tonight.
Yeah, that didn't happen. That was a brief one.
Blew him away with some high cheese, and he strikes out the side here in the 5th. Half a dozen Ks for Jared Weaver. 34 to 35 ounce Planters peanuts, only $3.95 at any Northeast Ohio Mark's location.
So come into your nearest Mark's, where you'll find a huge selection at low prices every day.
We move to the 6th inning here at Progressive Field. Justin Germano's come out of the bullpen, and he has done a nice job. He's retired all 6 that he has faced. And Hank Conger leads off. He is 1 for 2. His first major league hit, drove in a pair back in the 1st, struck out his last time up. Baseball America had Conger as the number 1 prospect in the Angels farm system coming into this year. Hits that in the air to deep to center, but back goes Brantley. And he makes the catch. 1 away.
Well, the Terrace Club's gourmet catering and unique atmosphere makes a perfect location for a private holiday party. Special discounts available for corporate partners, Terrace Club members. Season ticket holders and club seat holders make this year's holiday event special. Call 216-420-4840 to reserve a date.
Here's Peter Borges, 0 for 2. Quickly bounces the ball to short as Drupal Cabrera throws him out, 2 away. Did you happen to see the other night that Prince Fielder's consecutive games played streak came to an end?
I sure did.
They said he showed up at the ballpark and he looked sick as a dog, had the flu, and so his 327 game consecutive start streak came to an end. Last time he missed a game was September 3rd of 2008 against the Mets.
I mean, that's a great streak. You know, you don't compare it to what Ripken did. Don't do that because that's not normal.
Here you go. You know, for a little bit of perspective on it, it was the longest streak in Brewers franchise history. Robin Yount,
I was going to say,
had the record at 274. So
he was a gamer.
Blew by him a while ago, and that was 87 to 89. So you played with him.
Yeah, that's one of those. You know what? To play in every game, it's very difficult, and you know, especially the position when you're out there playing a position, it's difficult. It's not DH.
1, 2, 3 go the Angels. 9 up, 9 down. Justin Germano doing a nice job out of the Tribe bullpen, but they're down by 7. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning here at Progressive Field. Drew Sutton takes the first pitch for a strike. Indians claimed him off waivers from the Cincinnati Reds on August the 6th. Played 84 games at AAA Louisville this year. He did appear in 2 games with the big league club in Cincinnati. Between Louisville and the AAA Columbus Clippers, he combined to hit .273 in 113 games.
Well, he's torn between, you know, he wanted to actually stay in Columbus because they're in the finals.
Well, and he was dealing. He was 6 for 18 with a double and 3 driven in 4 postseason
But I mean,
games.
then they say, hey, we need you up here, you know, up in the big leagues, and you know, it's bittersweet, man. I want to come to the show.
Absolutely. Well, Jared Weaver, speaking of the show, is driving the bus right now. He has fanned 4 straight Indians hitters. All right, here's the trivia question answer. And I have to give my partner some props on this one. He nailed it. First guess, he was right on the money with Joltin' Joe Carter.
Oh, yeah.
It's hard to believe he had 4 3-home run games.
3-run homers, yeah.
3 home runs. He had 3 home runs in one game 4 times.
Okay,
yeah.
4 times. I got you.
You had me confused for a minute.
I'm always confused.
As long as you're not dazed and confused. Lou Marson with a weak ground ball to short. Charging. Ibar. Throws him out. 2 down.
Here we go. The Fan Cave. Progressive Field's newest suite. It's designed for the ultimate Tribe fan. Perfect for parties, outings, and other celebrations. It offers a great view. Pool table inside. Games just off to our right as we sit up there. There it is, the Fan Cave. 216-420-HITS.
2 down for Michael Brantley, who is 0 for 2 twice tonight. He is flied out to fairly deep left field. A little bit low for ball 1. 85 pitches on the night for Jared Weaver. 56 of those have been strikes. A 1-1 to count. Missed inside with it. 2 balls and a strike. Big chopper toward short. Ibar guns him out, and the Indians go 1-2-3. Through 6, it's still the Angels 7 and the Indians nothing.
Of what's possible at ATT.com. AT&T Rethink Possible. Buy the Sierra from GMC. Never send a truck to do a Sierra's job. And by Wendy's. You know when it's real. Wendy's.
7-zip Angels as we go to the 7th inning. Another pitching change for the Tribe. Justin Germano gave them 3 perfect innings of relief.
He did an outstanding job tonight. Germano was very, very good. Struck out 4, and did what he had to do. Turns it over to Frank Herman now, appearing for the 35th time. Frank has pitched in 38 2/3 innings. Walked 8, 20 punch-outs. So he's going to try and do the same thing.
Bobby Abreu, Torrey Hunter, Hideki Matsui due up for the Angels here in the 7th. Abreu tonight singled and scored in the first. Since then, he has grounded out and struck out. That stolen base that came back in the first inning was his 20th of the year. That gives him 12 consecutive years of 20 stolen bases or more.
That's very impressive because this guy, he's a complete game. He can hit with power. He can throw. He's a very good right fielder in his day. He could steal a base. He could do whatever it takes to win a ball game. Great all-around player.
Ground ball to second. Drew Sutton throws him out, one away.
Well, if you're a baseball fan, why not come on out to the Cleveland Indians Fantasy Camp? It's a terrific week held down in Goodyear, Arizona. It'll all take place January 15th through the 22nd. It is an all-inclusive week. You stay at the Big League Hotel and utilize the Indians complex and play a lot of baseball, and it's a lot of fun had by all. Kangaroo courts at night and a lot of baseball played. Sore muscles and everything, but it's a good sore. It's a good sore. You can call 216-420-HITS. This will be our third year out there already in Goodyear. It's hard to believe. I remember we were down in Winter Haven for years.
I think I went to the last one
in Winter Haven. Yeah, that's when we had to get you a chair when you were catching because of your bum knee.
Blew my knee out.
Yeah, we finally got you a doc to fix your knee, and now you got to come out to Arizona.
Well, yeah.
You know who's going to be out there with us this year? Jimmy Hanlon.
Oh, boy.
Yes, indeed. We're going to take the golf club out of his hand, and then he won't be teaching any swings
I
there.
want to see him after about 3 days.
So do I.
He better start working out now. The 1-2 pitch.
Big Jimmy. He's going to do a show down there, too, so I'm looking forward to it. He says he's going to be a number 1 pick.
Well, that doesn't surprise me. A Steubenville native. You can take the boy out of the Ville, but you can't take the Ville out of the boy.
There you go. You're sticking together,
That's
huh?
Right.
He's not going to be able to use that titanium elbow.
I might have to come out just to watch.
Yeah, I can see you watching. You guys don't watch.
Now the 2-2.
You guys are the rookies, the youth, the young guys in camp. They try and take advantage of the old-timers we bring down there.
I have a hard time staying healthy in the winter months for some reason. Blew out my knee that year, dislocated my finger.
Bowling alleys, it doesn't matter. Bowling alleys, baseball fields, no matter where we put you. We're going to put you in a bubble, let you float out there.
Torrey Hunter drove in a run with a base hit and scored in the second. 1 for 3 tonight. 3 for 7 now in the series. Frank Herman's payoff pitch is roped foul on the right side. Tampa Bay has taken a 2-1 lead over the Yankees. They're in the bottom of the 5th now in St. Pete.
Oh, that's a long way from being over. The way those first 2 games went. They got to go extra innings tonight.
Big chopper to third. Nix fires it over. 2 away. Well, Sunday night on STO, it's round 2 of the Celebrity Par 3 shootout this week. Doug Deacon, Kevin Mack, Jason Trusnick from the Browns, and myself will compete with the winner advancing to the finals in a few weeks.
I'm mad we can't see it on Sunday because we're going to get that swing right there.
Jim Donovan and Jimmy Hanlon will bring you all the action. It's the STO Celebrity Par 3 shootout Sunday night at 10 right here on STO.
Now, don't you wish when that took place that you had it all worked out?
Yeah,
with that
my
right
game
hand?
Was a little messed up.
Yeah,
still.
It was. We got to tell them that they got to give us an opportunity to a little practice time.
Matsui with a long fly slicing out of play.
We weren't on our games back then like we are now.
We might need a spring training version of the Par 3 shootout.
Well, that's where you go with Tee It Up Ohio.
Arizona style.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, he could have a great Par 3 shootout out there. There's many players that live out in that area.
Mm-hmm. Down low, 1 ball, 1 strike. The problem would be finding a golf course. If you could just find a golf course out there, it'd be great.
I know.
There's only about 700.
That's all there is, mountains and golf course.
Matsui grounds to Drew Sutton. And the Angels go 1, 2, 3. So the Indians bullpen now with 4 straight perfect innings of relief. Solon and Brunswick coming soon to Twinsburg. Log on to paninisgrill.com for a list of all their locations. Bottom of the 7th here at Progressive Field. 7-zip Angels, and Jared Weaver authoring a 1-hit shutout so far tonight, and he misses down low. He hasn't been behind many hitters 2-0 tonight. In fact, most often he's been ahead. And a ground ball backhanded by Rivera. The flip. Weaver tags the bag, and that's out number 1. Time now for our Miller Taste Greatness moment. On this date last year in Anaheim, Victor Martinez off Brian Fuentes with a 3-run homer. And then Johnny Peralta as the Indians came back to win it 8-6. And the thing I remember most about that is afterwards, they were really wondering about Brian Fuentes. You know, the local media and everybody was wondering, boy, is this guy going to make it through? Is he the closer? Are they going to have to make a change?
No, the Indians just happen to hit him well.
He's now in Minnesota.
Yes, he is.
As just sort of
traded him not long ago.
A spare piece in their bullpen.
It was right at the end of August, wasn't it? Well, here's the only man with a hit tonight for the Indians.
Chu, a solid base hit with 2 outs in the 4th inning. The only base runner for the Tribe tonight. Pitch number 95 for Jared Weaver. And a breaking ball is hit pretty well to deep left. Back is Abreu. And he'll make the catch. 2 down. Once again, we go back to the studios for an in-game update with Al Pawlowski.
Another good game tonight at the Trop, Matt, between the Yanks and the Rays. It's a 1-run game once again. 2-run homer here by Tampa Bay's Dan Johnson in the 5th. His 4th of the year, and the Rays lead it 2-1. They're now in the 6th inning. Boy, what a series. Back to you, man.
All right, thanks, Al. Twins and White Sox, meanwhile, scoreless in the 3rd in Chicago. Travis Hafner, 0 for 2 on the night. Right back to the screen. And the count 0-2. Now the 2-strike pitch. Check swing foul back. They're still in a rain delay right now in Kansas City, and then that's the rain that we're worried about coming this way tomorrow. Hopefully it will be through the area by game time and we'll be able to play uninterrupted, but
you hope so.
We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, that's getaway day. The Angels will head down to play Tampa.
That's
after
right.
they leave here. And, it seems like a lot of teams have done that this year.
Yeah, you're right.
They leave here, they go down. I know 4 teams that have left here and went down to play the Rays.
Seattle just did that when they were in
Seattle
town.
did it, and there was a couple other teams as well.
Mike Scioscia has had not much to do tonight. His team jumped on the board with 7 early, and he's just been able to sit back and watch Jared Weaver go to work. Another 1-2-3 inning for the Angels right-hander. And we'll go to the 8th. 7-zip. Angels on top.
Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians.
Trevor Crowe has come into the ball game in right field. Shin Soo Choo will get the rest of this one off. Frank Herman worked a 1-2-3 7th. Back out here for the 8th. Juan Rivera, Eric Ibar, Howie Kendrick all due up for the Angels. Good pitch, didn't get the call, and it's 2-0. That looked like it was right there. Ooh, man. Right back off the face mask of Lou Marson, who's has to rearrange his jawline.
That seems like that happens once a day to
got
catchers.
one last
doesn't it?
night.
I know it.
After
I know he
getting plowed
did.
over by
Right.
Torrey Hunter in the same game.
I like what he said after the game, though, about
I did
that.
too.
That was good stuff.
He said that he knew he was going to get hammered. He said, Torrey Hunter's one of my favorite players. Plays the game the right way. It was a clean play.
Right. And he says, I knew he was going to blow me up, is what he said.
That's right.
And he did.
Cabrera throws out Rivera with the bat halfway to him towards shortstop. One away. There's Torrey Hunter.
You know, he was a late addition. I think that they waited till he got to the ballpark. He wasn't in the original lineup to see how he was feeling today, but
They wanted to make sure he was good to go. That was a tremendous collision at home plate last night.
and Marson held on. It was a great relay, great play. Duncan to Cabrera to Marson. And it was 2-1 at that time. That stopped the tying run from scoring in the ball game. Good clean play, going all the way.
And, you know, I don't know that fans have an appreciation for how big a guy Torrey Hunter is.
No.
I mean, you want to stand still at home plate with him bearing down on you?
No,
Oh,
sir.
man. Here's another look
No
at it
way.
from last
I'll
night in
tell
case
you
you
what.
missed it.
And he was, I mean, Marson's got the gear on. But Marson makes a great pick on the ball from Cabrera. Cabrera makes a pick from Duncan. He makes a nice show. But here he comes. And he's going head down, shoulders down, right into him. Marson had that ball in his bare hand, and believe me, that's a collision. Boom.
I mean, he knocks him back a good 3-4 feet.
Yeah. I mean, you see, his chin may have caught the helmet of Marson right there, too.
Well, it was a good, clean play. And it got him out of the inning. Now the 1-0 pitch. A little bit high to Howie Kendrick, who is 1 for 2 tonight.
Well, this is just right from the start. Angels put 4 on the board in the first inning and have never looked back. Genmar Gomez, they hit him with a quick punch, and he didn't know where he was at. Didn't have command. He walked 3 in the first inning. They added on 3. And it's just been pitching ever since then. Germano, 3 good innings. Herman's doing a nice job, and it's all about Jared Weaver, who's been outstanding.
3-0 pitch. Bullseye. Swing and a miss, full count. Boy, how about the Washington Nationals continuing to take it to Atlanta? Beat them again today. And Atlanta's slip sliding away in the NL East. They started the night 2 games in back of Philly. Philly's blowing out Florida. It's going to be a 3-game lead.
Well, that Philly rotation's starting to get it together. I'm telling you.
High fly ball, deep right, backpedaling is Crow. And he makes the catch. 1, 2, 3, go the Angels. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Still 7-0. Angels on top. Jared Weaver made it stand up through 7 innings. He'll watch the rest of this one from the bench and eventually the clubhouse. Matt Palmer coming on in relief to work the 8th for the 11th appearance of the year. Jared Weaver was right at 100 pitches on the night, and he was pretty dominant.
He's as good as you can get. I'll tell you what. I mean, they're taking him out because this game's out of control right now, but 27 of his 30 starts this year, Weaver has thrown 100 pitches. So he is out of this ball game. 7 punch-outs, no walks, 1 hit. And the offense finally got him some run, and he's looking for his 12th win.
Shelley Duncan 0 for 2 tonight. Popped up on the infield in the 2nd inning. In the 5th, he was called out on strikes, but that was after an 11-pitch at bat. He really dug in against Jared Weaver. He fouled 2 or 3 pitches off deep down the left side. He had some good swings, but ultimately Weaver got him. Ground ball to short. Ibar. High throw pulled him off. Nice job by Rivera. Or that's not Rivera. Who came in at first there, Rick?
That's a good question. They sneak somebody in.
That is number 37, Mark Trumbo, into the ball game. Here's Jared Weaver's night.
He had everything working. He was dominating. Cutter, fastball. He had a good breaking ball. Didn't see a whole lot of changeups. He was power river tonight, man. He went with that good fastball.
Pitched for a strike to Jason Nix. Mark Trumbo, not to be confused with Mark Tromba, who used to be the PA announcer here at Progressive Field in its early days. Matt Palmer with a 1-1 pitch to Jason Nix. Down low. Now 4 defensive changes to tell you about for the Angels when we get a moment here. 3 balls and a strike to count on Jason Nix. There's a strike called full count. Matt Laporta waits on deck. And Palmer's payoff pitch. Jammed him. A little weak roller towards short. Ibar on the move. Guns him out. Nice play. 2 down. All right, let's check out our changes now. Mark Trumbo, we told you about, took over at first base. I believe that's Brandon Wood, yes, at third base. Reggie Willits has come on now in left field. And in right field, Juan Rivera, who was at first base. Matt Laporta 0 for 2, couple of strikeouts here tonight. Breaking ball misses. Swung on and missed. Well, the Columbus Clippers closing in on the Governor's Cup championship. They won again tonight, 4-0 the final score, so they're up 2-0. And that's a best of 5, so they've got a chance to go for a sweep now as they beat the Durham Bulls. So now they'll load up the buses and head south to Durham.
There you go. Need one win.
In the dirt. Now, you were talking earlier about Drew Sutton and how it was bittersweet. He was trying to help the Clippers win that championship, but he got the call up. There he is waiting on deck.
Yeah,
and he said the one thing I won't miss is that bus ride.
Yeah, it's true.
Down to Durham. The payoff pitch. And Laporta pops it in the air. Center fielder Peter Borges is there. And the Indians go 1-2-3. We go to the 9th. 7-0 Angels. Ninth inning. Jensen Lewis on for the 30th time this year. And he will be facing the 8th, 9th, and leadoff hitters for the Angels.
Well, Frank Herman, a couple of perfect innings.
Following suit, Justin Germano came on and worked 3 perfect innings, struck out 4. Herman with 2 perfect innings after Germano, and now Jensen Lewis.
There you go. Last 18 batters gone down, 15 by the bullpen.
Popped in the air, foul territory. Nix makes a terrific running catch for out number 1. You know, it's something we talked about that earlier, Rick. He's had his moments at third base defensively. But his experience as an outfielder, you said he's made a lot of these plays that are very difficult, but he's made almost every one of them.
You know what? Not many third basemen can make a running catch like that. He has outfield experience, and I think it certainly helps him where he can just put his head down, go after. That's going to be our McDonald's. I'm loving it. Nice running catch by Jason Nix.
Fouled right back off the mask of Marson again. Boy, that's the second one he's taken right off the iron. 1-1 to count for Peter Borges, who is 0 for 3 on the night. High fly ball, shallow left. Shelley Duncan grabs it, 2 away. Hey, Our Lady of the Wayside is holding their annual Starlight Guardian Humanitarian Benefit Luncheon on Tuesday, November 16th. 2010 recipients include Mike and Sharon Hargrove for their dedication to the spirit of giving. The event will be held at Landerhaven with your host, Bill Wills. For more information, visit thewayside.org. 2 down for Alberto Callaspo, who was 0 for 4 tonight. Reached on an error and scored back in the second inning.
We got Wood that came into the game playing at third.
That's right. Yeah, that is right.
We marked it defensively, but not offensively. I did the same thing.
Understandably, Mike Scioscia made 4 defensive changes last inning. When you've got the expanded rosters and you've got a 7-0 lead, chance to get some of your young guys in the ball game. I suppose, Rick, even if it's only an inning or two, every bit of big league experience is important for the young guys.
Put them out there. They're absolutely right. That's what they're there for. As much as you can. The game was in command, totally in control.
The 0-2, a little bit high with the heat.
Well, yeah, I mean, we see it every spring training where regulars go a couple at-bats, they get out of there, it's taken over by the rest of the guys. You see games like that in September.
Little bit low, 2-2. High school football Friday night right here on STO. Solon at Parma. Ground ball, just foul. And I mean not by more than an inch or so. That looked like it was headed right over the bag. So the count 2-2 for Brandon Wood.
Boy, oh boy, you're right. That ball could have went over the corner of that bag. He's standing right there looking at it, but I'll tell you what.
I've always thought that's the hardest call for an umpire, too, that
splitting the bag, because if it goes over the bag, it doesn't have to land in fair territory in that line. The bag decides it. That looked like it might have caught a corner of that bag.
Third base umpire Scott Berry making the call tonight. Now the set by Lewis and the payoff pitch. Swung on and missed. He struck him out. We'll go to the bottom of the ninth. 7-0 Angels. Matt Palmer, after working a 1-2-3-8, will stay on. to work the ninth inning. Drew Sutton, then Lou Marson and Michael Brantley here in the ninth. Sutton 0 for 2 in his Indians debut. Think about that, too. I mean, you get called up yesterday, and then you make your debut with your new ball club.
Look at Jared Weaver.
Jared Weaver.
Well, why not? Why not? You know what, really? I mean, we look at it that way and you think that, but when you're a player,
you don't care, right?
You love it because you're saying this is one of the best pitchers in the game. I mean, it's actually a challenge, so you look forward to it. And you figure you get a hit against him, you can get a hit against anybody. You know, it's a great challenge. That's what you want. You get called to the big leagues, you want to face the best.
In the air, deep center field. Back goes Borges. And he runs it down. That ball looked like it ran out of steam. Thought maybe it was ticketed for the big wall. But that's out number one. Your first big league AB, who was it against? Boy, I thought you'd snap that right on.
Well, no, I'm going to have to say Jim Todd. I got my first major league hit off him, so I'm going to say he started for Oakland. But I forgot. I don't know. That's who I got my first hit off, so I'm going to say he started the game. They didn't come in the fifth, I don't think.
Lou Marson looks at a ball down low.
I'm going to tell you I faced in the Little League, too, for my first at-bat.
No. But everybody always remember your first AB in the big leagues.
Well, yeah, I think I popped up to right field. I used to remember the picture, but it fades every year. that name and face start getting darker and darker.
Fades deeper and deeper into the background.
Deeper way. That's exactly right.
3 balls and no strikes to Lou Marson. The 3-0 pitch. He walked him. Michael Brantley 0 for 3 on the night. Well, Redbird did the research. Your first AB was against Sonny Siebert.
Was it? Well, that boy, Redbird. That's why I got to keep Mike around.
You flied out to right field.
Well, then Sonny started that game. I got my first big league hit in my third at bat, so Sonny didn't hang around long. Sonny said, "Well, I'm glad. Thanks for reminding me, Mike."
That probably would have been like the end of his career, wouldn't it? Sonny Siebert?
Yeah, he was on the downward side. I didn't know that.
It was his last year in the big leagues. How about that? Brantley with a ground ball to short. It kicks by Ibar. Into second base goes Lou Marson.
That's going to be a hit to keep that streak going, without a doubt.
How about that for Michael Brantley, extending that hitting streak now to 15 games. By the way, Rick and I were talking about it before this ninth inning. That walk to Lou Marson was the first base runner in this game since the 4th inning. In fact, it was the first base runner since Chu's hit.
Yeah, I mean, it's been shut down. It's been 1, 2, 3. It's been
Angels' last base runner was Howie Kendrick, who had a leadoff hit in the 3rd. They've gone in order ever since. And the Indians had the hit by Chu in the 4th inning. And they had gone down in order since the walk, up until the walk to Lou Marson with 1 out here in the 9th inning.
Yes, base runners few and far between tonight. First time an Indian has been at second base.
Cabrera now back upright and awaiting the 0-1 pitch. Pop foul and into the seats. Series finale between these two teams tomorrow night. We'll have it for you once again here on Sports Time Ohio. Good matchup. Fausto Carmona going up against Irvin Santana. Carmona 12-14 on the year, but a 3.86 ERA. Santana going for his 16th win despite an ERA that's just a shade over 4. Now the 0-2. Bouncing ball to short. 6, 4, 3, and that'll do it. So the Angels cruise to a 7-0 win over the Indians here tonight at Progressive Field. Jared Weaver dominant in winning his 12th game of the year. He's now 12-11. The losing pitcher is Genmar Gomez. He drops to 3-4 on the season. With the win, the Angels are now 71-74. The loss drops the Indians to 59-86 on the season. Series even at a game apiece, and the season series all even now at 4 games apiece. Let's have a look now at our play of the game brought to you by Key Bank. Switch to Key and get a free Sony Bloggy. Visit key.com/bloggy for details.
Well, you go right to the first inning. This young man getting his first start, first major league hit, and first RBI. Conger, there it is. Drives in a pair. He'll have a baseball to think about, and that certainly helped his starting pitcher, Jared Weaver, to a 4-run first inning. That is going to be our Key Bank key play of the game.
Well, the Angels Weaver was simply sensational. We'll come back with the Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care post-game show. Break it all down for you next.